Hey, Steve Sullivan here, training supervisor at Rittal North America. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install a full height swing frame and a TS8 industrial enclosure. Now we're going to need two part numbers for this task. One is the swing frame itself. That's our 2336-700. And the second part number that we're going to need is the installation kit. That's a 1994 835. Both of these are required to successfully install your full height swing frame. Tools that we're going to need: T25 Torx wrench or screwdriver, also a T30 Torx, a flat blade screwdriver, small Phillips head, 13 millimeter wrench or a socket, and a small rubber or a plastic mallet. Now on your enclosure, you're going to start with the two mounting panel slide rails. These can either be in for the installation or they can be removed. So I'm going to remove them for this video. Again, you can do it with or without. The second thing that we need to determine is, do we want to hinge the swing frame on the right or the left? Basically the same side that the door hinges on or the opposite side. After we've determined that, I'm going to take the base part and we need to place two end caps, one on either end. This helps level off the bottom plate if you're not going to use the installation rails for the mounting panel. So we want to make sure we install those on either end. Now we're going to take captive clip nuts and we're going to install them into the frame. And notice that I come in through the side of the frame in the second hole position back. So two from the front. Now you can install the swing frame anywhere that you want within the depth of the cabinet, but I'm going to do it all the way in the front position for this video. So once I install the captive clip nut on either end, on either side, then I'm going to place the bottom plate right over that. And so this is going to conceal it. It's also going to mean that we can't get to them, and so that's why they're captive into the frame. Now I'm going to take my M8 bolts, and then I like starting this task by hand, only so I get a feel that it's engaged the threads and the internal nut properly, and then secondly to make sure that you're not cross-threading, and then later I can come in behind that with my 13 millimeter socket and wrench and then tighten it down. It doesn't have to be overly tightened for this, and I'm sure that in the instructions it actually gives you torque requirements or values if you want to make sure you're staying in compliance there. So once I've tightened them down, I've decided which way that I want to hinge the swing frame, and in this video I'm going to do it on the left side facing the cabinet. So I'm going to take this small plastic grommet and I'm going to insert it. Now it is keyed, so it sits properly in there and kind of locks into place. And then there's two other parts for the bottom plate. One is going to be kind of a glide plate that goes closest to the hinge side, and then the other one is going to be a backstop or a catch, if you will. And then both of these are secured by two very small Phillips head screws. And I'm again just going to do this by hand to make sure that I've got this inserted properly. This will just make sure that your swing frame, one, glides smoothly into place, and secondly, doesn't go too far back into the cabinet. That's the purpose of the catch. This is a view of the installation using the mounting panel slide rails in the bottom, just to show you that they can be used with or without. Now moving to the top part of the installation, notice I go 3 holes back from the front. We did 2 on the bottom, you're doing 1 more for the top. Now this bracket right here is difficult to see in the instructions, but it plays a pretty critical role. I've seen people not use that bracket, but make sure that you're using that combination. This makes the top plate slide and lock into place very smoothly and securely when you're installing the top part. Then you can come in behind with a wrench, give it a little snug to tighten it down. I'm going to place my grommet in the top again on the hinge side, and you see that this is a little loose right now. Once you get your adjustment the way that you want when you slide the swing frame in, then you can come in behind that with your T30 and tighten that up on either side, and it gives it a nice snug fit. One thing I like to do then on position the swing frame is take the bottom pin or post, and I just like to screw it down and lock it into place, and this helps me positively position the swing frame in the bottom grommet. You could also choose not to do it and then just slide it over the hole and position the pin down at a second operation. Now that I have the bottom secured, I can go to the top, place the top pin in, tighten that down so it's locked in, and then you've got a cover plate top and bottom just to clean up the aesthetics on the swing frame. On the large swing frame, you're going to have a lock at the top and the bottom. Just using my double bit key, that locks it down into place. So now my door is right-hand hinged, my swing frame is left-hand hinged. I can swing my equipment out of the way to get to the wiring and connection points on the back, as well as to the panel mounted devices. And when I'm done, then I can just swing it back into place and securely lock it top and bottom. That's the installation of a full height swing frame in an industrial cabinet.